Welcome to the conversation at airsafe.com. I'm your host, Todd Curtis. On May 19, 2016, EgyptAir flight MS804 disappeared from radar while on a flight from Paris, France to Cairo, Egypt. Shortly after the aircraft went missing, I had an interview with BBC Newsday Radio where we discussed, among other things, the difficulty of searching for this aircraft when there was no warnings given by the pilots, whether or not the aircraft was in fact destroyed or merely diverted to some other location, what the fact that the aircraft was lost to radar may mean, and the possible implications of not having a distress signal sent either by the aircraft or by the air crew.
Hello, I'm Sue Montgomery with the BBC News. An EgyptAir plane flying from Paris to Cairo has disappeared from radar screens over the eastern Mediterranean. There's no indication of adverse weather conditions. David Bamford reports.
EgyptAir Flight 804 left Paris at about 11 p.m. local time on Wednesday evening, bound for Cairo. The plane, with 56 passengers and 10 crew on board, was scheduled to fly over the Adriatic and across Greece, arriving in the Egyptian capital soon after 3 a.m. It didn't arrive. The 13-year-old Airbus A320 had disappeared from radar screens over the eastern Mediterranean. The civil aviation authorities say rescue teams have gone to the aircraft's last recorded location. This latest apparent air disaster comes 7 months after a Russian-owned passenger plane was brought down by a bomb over the Egyptian Sinai, with the loss of over 220 lives.
Very warm welcome. This is Newsday with Nomia Iqbal and Lawrence Pollard. We go straight to the story now that's broken in the last hour or so.
Yes, an EgyptAir plane flying from Paris to Cairo has disappeared from radar screens. Dr. Todd Curtis is the founder of airsafe.com. It's an air safety and security website. He joins us now. Welcome to the programme.
Thanks for having me.
Obviously, the stories are fast-moving. There's lots of reports coming out. But we know that it went missing over the Mediterranean. Can you tell us how difficult that might make it to launch a rescue and investigation?
Well, the first difficulty is that although it was relatively close to the Egyptian coast, less than a couple of hundred kilometers, there was no warning, there were no distress signals, there were no voice communications from the crew saying that anything was wrong with the aircraft. So it's unclear whether or not there was some sort of catastrophic event where the aircraft may be in pieces on the surface of the ocean or underwater, or whether the aircraft may have been diverted. And until they have an idea of what happened to the aircraft, it may be difficult to find any trace of it.
Yeah, EgyptAir said that it faded from radar. What does that actually mean then?
Well, it depends on what kind of radar was being used to track the aircraft. Traditional ground-based radar, which could reach out over the ocean in the area where the aircraft was, they could have both the direct signal from the aircraft, that is, radar signals bouncing off the aircraft, and indirect signals, that is, information from a device called a transponder being sent out to the radar. There's also a satellite-based system which, like a transponder, receives signals transmitted from the aircraft. And apparently, this was the last kind of signal received from the aircraft. It simply stopped transmitting during a normal phase of a cruise flight.
The pilot didn't make a distress call before the plane vanished. Can we read anything into that?
At the moment, no, because communicating with the outside world is of secondary, even tertiary importance if there's any sort of emergency or other unusual activity on board the aircraft. And again, it's been several hours since the aircraft went missing, so it would seem that there may be something serious here rather than just a simple mechanical or electrical problem.
Well, in terms of that, this was an Airbus A320. Does it have a good safety record?
Well, it does indeed. This particular aircraft has been flying for roughly 13 years, which is well within the normal range of many Airbus aircraft, and in fact, many large jet airliners around the world. The Airbus has been in operation for several decades, and although it has had a history of some accidents and incidents, there is nothing with the aircraft right now that is a known problem where either the airlines or Airbus is trying to fix the aircraft. In other words, this is a normal aircraft with no outstanding issues with how it operates.
Okay, thank you for your time. That's Dr. Todd Curtis, and of course we'll keep you updated on that story.
For more information on this accident, please visit airsafe.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.